Hey, beautiful mama. Welcome to the Radiant Mom Rising podcast, where we believe you were never meant to just survive. You were born to shine. I'm your host, Mary Dibble, life coach, mama 3, and your biggest cheerleader in creating a life and business you love. Each week, we dive into real conversations about mindset, motherhood, healing, and purpose, helping you break free from overwhelm, rediscover your worth, and rise into the confident, radiant woman you were meant to be. Because when moms rise, the world rises with us. So grab your coffee, take a deep breath, and let's get ready to rise together.
Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's
Hey,
episode, be
welcome
sure to
back. Thanks for
subscribe
joining
below,
us
follow
today. I'm here
along,
with
and
Kaylin. Thank
always
you
leave a
so
comment. Tell
much
me
for
what was your
being
favorite
part of the show
takeaway.
today. How are you
What are some things
doing?
that are coming up for you
I'm
through these
good. Thanks for having me.
conversations?
I'm
I really
excited
love
to
to
have you. I
hear from my
appreciate you being here.
listeners
So
and know that
let's
I'm
get
always here
started.
for
If you
you.
will,
If
introduce
anyone
yourself
listening
and just
is
tell
ready
the
to take
audience a little bit
action
about yourself
and
and what you
really
do.
follow through and implement the
Yeah, my
goals that you
name is
set out
Kaylin
for, as
Cotto.
well as work
I
on that
started
mindset
a
and
marketing
really step into
agency
your
in
full
2010
potential
years
and the
ago
CEO of your
in the
life,
middle
then
of,
I invite you,
being
schedule
pregnant
your
and
free
ready for my
1 hour limitless
daughter to
mom
be
strategy
born.
call with
And
me while
I
they're
was
available,
still active
and
duty at the
let's
time.
explore
And
where
so
you
what
are,
started
where you want to be,
as
and
a
how we
side
can bridge that
hustle
gap
15
together.
years later
I
is
can't
now
thank
my
you all enough
full-time
for tuning
work.
in each week.
And yeah,
Always
I've been
remember,
helping small
until
businesses
next time,
just get
keep
with their online
rising, keep
presence and
shining,
growth.
and keep
Oh, that's
believing in
amazing. So tell us a
everything
little
that
bit
is
about your
available for you,
journey
Mama.
as a
You are
mom
worthy,
and being
you
in the
deserve it,
military
and
and
I'm
what that
so
looked
grateful
like
to
as
be
you were
walking this
doing this
journey
as a side
alongside you.
hustle.
Much love.
Yeah, it was really ugly and a hot mess, actually. So let me see. At the time, I was living in Orange County, California, and yeah, pregnant with my daughter, who's now 15, obviously, because I started the business when I was about to have her. And so I was actually active duty working with a lot of people that were a lot more senior than I was. So in the military, you can go in when you're, I think 17 is the earliest with parental permission, but a lot of them went in when they were 18.
Yeah.
You do 20 years, you have the option to retire. Like at that point, there's different retirement options, but the majority of them had been in about 20 years and they were looking to get out and start their next thing. Like, so a lot of them wanted to start businesses or have an online presence or write books. So I was the public affairs officer for that unit, which meant I was updating the military websites and I was writing the press releases and I was doing all the same kind of marketing ish stuff for the army.
Oh,
So they would say, "Hey, you do this for us, in the army side. Like, can you help me with this?" And I'm like, "I guess so." So I was doing it for free. And I'm like, "Sure." And then they're like, "Let me give you money." So some people gave me like $200, $500. And then I'm like, "Okay, maybe I can charge $500 for a website, at the time." Because I'm like, I don't want to charge a lot because I'm not doing this professionally and I'm kind of self-taught or whatever. So ended up going back to school, to learn more. But in the beginning, that's how it started. And so I had like a little mini portfolio and whatnot. And then 3 years, when my daughter turned 3, is when my divorce kind of started happening. We actually moved to Colorado, and I don't remember even why we did that, but it was kind of like a change of scenery. I loved my job in the army. They actually let me work remotely, which was a super blessing. And then I kept taking clients on the side. So it was just a long day. I would work my normal day, and then at night I would be doing all the little side hustle jobs. And so, you know how that can be. It's just a lot. So then eventually those orders did not renew. There was a point where they wanted to switch and have someone local, which is totally understandable. And so my orders got ended and I moved to a unit in Denver, Colorado, and then they brought me on active duty. So it was kind of a weird, I just kept working and at some point I just said, okay, I got to do this full time. And it does take a little while to build up clients too and get referrals and things like that. So yeah, that's sort of how it started. And I think through the divorce, I ended up moving back to actually San Diego because we lived throughout Southern California for about 10 years. But when I moved back there, that's when I think I knew like we were going to get divorced for sure. And then I wasn't used to having to calculate being home with my daughter because she wasn't in kindergarten yet. So I'm like, I can't really get a job like a normal 9 to 5 because I have to pay for childcare. And in SoCal, it was like $1,000 a month for one kid. And so I'm like, okay, so $1,000 a month is just going to go to childcare. Like that's crazy. And so you just figure it out, right? So I was like in the morning trying to do all this client work. She's tiny, she popped into some of my Zoom calls, every once in a while. We had Skype, I think, at the time. I'm like, I'm so old. I don't know, but we were on video calls. I know that. And she would always pop in and
yeah.
Yeah, so she kind of grew up with the business as on the same time, but it was definitely messy. We moved to save money, moved me and her to Arizona because it was cheaper to live there. And then the opportunities there that I thought I had dried up, ended up taking a government job again, moving back to the East Coast, and then the business came back again. So really I've had to restart. I basically restarted everything in 2016. So in 2010, I had a different name of my company, Stars and Stripes Marketing, only military. So I was helping veteran-owned businesses and military-facing nonprofits, which I still work with now. It's super fun. But then in 2016, I was like, maybe I need to not niche down so much because I was getting other clients that weren't military and they're like, why do you position yourself this way when what you do can help anybody? So I ended up changing it.
Yeah.
I'm even thinking about niching back down in some spots or even adding that section to my website because I feel like it's just such a big part of my experience. But that's it just was so messy. I don't even know how to tell it in a way that's organized because
What I think that I honor you for that because I want moms who are listening who are maybe on the fence about starting a business, maybe they're in the beginning stages of starting a business to understand that it is messy. It is not this, oh, I'm going to put myself out there and all the clients are going to just show up or everything's just going to happen so easily. We wish, of course we do, but realistically, it's like I think it's all meant to mold us and prepare us for it because if we were just handed everything, I don't think we would be able to handle that either. Like that alone would overwhelm our systems in another way, in another sense. And so I like to help moms to hear these things, to know that okay, it's okay if you're in that mess. It's okay if you're in that season of like it's not seeming to work out. No one's showing up. I'm not getting the clients yet. I'm not there. It's like it's not that it's not possible. It's not that it's not available for you,
yep.
but there's a lot of mindset work, and I'd be interested to know from like where you are now and kind of like what you've learned along the way. What would you say like you wish you knew back then or you wish you had back then that would have helped you kind of navigate that in a hope in a more positive way?
I actually I wish that I had I don't even know. Like I think mindset was a big one. I think when things went wrong, I internalized it way too much.
Yeah.
I really thought that like, if somebody didn't like the work that I did or they wanted to make adjustments, like what I've learned now is that it's normal for clients to look at something you created for them. They thought they communicated everything they wanted, but then they forgot a detail and it threw off the design, right? So there's just communication things that are small. But back then, if someone was like, "Oh, I don't like that flyer that you made," like I felt like, "Oh my gosh, I spent 4 hours on that." It's my work and and then
Yes.
I'm like, "I shouldn't be doing this," like imposter syndrome. Like
Yeah.
I had gone back to college for design too, so it was like maybe I'm just not cut out for this. Maybe I didn't know, like I don't know what I'm doing. And
Yeah.
like I think your brain goes from like and I could have just said, "Oh, okay, great. Let's hop on a call and like go through the design and figure out what you want to change because I want you to love it." Right? Like, and that's what I do now. But at the time, I would just like, there was times where I wouldn't even respond to an email because I was just like, "Oh, I'm like, I don't even know like why I'm doing this work." It was
Mhm.
paralyzing for me because I just felt like if I don't make this business work, I'm gonna be homeless with my daughter living in my car. And we're
Oh.
like on the verge of that, right? Because
Yeah.
like there was a point in Arizona where when all the work that supposedly was there dried up, I was getting eviction notices. And I'm like, I literally was building people's websites on a 4G cell phone hotspot because I could not afford my Wi-Fi payment. And I was like literally and Arizona's really strict on like if they give you food stamps and stuff. I know this is like way too much that I never share, but
Yeah, but I appreciate
but I went in and I applied for benefits and like we even went to the Catholic food pantry. Like people have no idea.
yeah.
Meanwhile, right, I'm online with these smiling photos, like trying to promote my business, like everything is totally fine. And in the veteran community, like it's a small space. Like a lot of the veteran entrepreneurs, like they it's like you can't be struggling and asking for help if you're supposedly a successful business owner. So you have this internal external struggle
Yeah.
going on, right? You're like,
Yeah.
okay, I need to be polished and professional so I can attract really great clients supposedly, And then, there was just so much lies in the not military space, the entrepreneur space,
Yes.
because I feel like there's people online who, yes, like you could have a best friend who's an incredible photographer. Technology is like so good now. You don't even really need training for a lot of stuff. AI is like blowing things out of the water. Even I vibe coded a website yesterday. So I'm thinking like, when you have all these tools at your disposal, it's like, you can look amazing online and have no
Yeah.
sales on the back end. But then on the flip side, I don't have a big following on social media. I that's a long story. Facebook shut down my personal account years ago with one of their weird updates,
Oh,
and I lost my business page and everything.
oh,
So anyway, I'm still trying to track down because someone said my old account popped up somewhere. So they must have reinstated it, but I can't get in it.
oh.
So anyway, I deleted my business page because I still had admin access through a different channel, and that had like 5,000 something people, and I've never really. So if but the funny thing is I make more money now with less of a following. Does
Yeah.
that make sense? So like
Oh, yeah.
people after all these numbers and even your clients, well, how come we haven't increased followers this month, or why haven't we gotten this engagement number? And I'm like, your online engagement is not, if it's not directly tied to revenue, it really doesn't matter. Like, yes, it's great to have more eyeballs, but it's more important to have the right eyeballs. And so after 15 years of learning all these things and just seeing the smoke and mirrors and hiring people that looked amazing online but didn't deliver on the back end, like
Mm-hmm.
I've been burned just as much as the people that are looking to hire me. I really have, because everybody needs somebody that's further along in the journey to help them.
Yeah.
And so that's why I wish I did have you can't like anything that I wish I had then, I would not know, because I was just, I don't know, it's a hard
Yeah.
question for me to answer.
Yeah, I mean, well,
Any
and I think it was part of your growth, your learning,
Yeah.
and it is. And sometimes we don't. And I know that so many of us are here trying to offer that. This is why I do what I do here, because I
Yes.
want this real talk. I want people to understand the realness of this, but don't feel defeated, because I don't want them to feel defeated. I want them to understand
No.
this is part of the process, and we have to kind of learn to allow ourselves to be open to the discomfort, to the hard times like that, because anyone you see who is actually successful, they started somewhere too. They were there too at some point or another in their own
Yeah.
journey, so it's like we have to normalize that the best thing to do is be real. And I feel like for me, the mindset piece is huge. I think that's where
It is.
everyone should start, because when you walk into this stuff, you can have all the perfect strategies and all the things, the
Yeah.
blueprints, whatever. But when you don't believe in yourself and what you're doing, if you don't truly have the strength of a mindset to handle the times when things do fail, and handle how
And they
like you
will.
say, when you were talking earlier, exactly, when you were talking earlier about how when somebody criticized your hard work, how you internalize that almost as if it was an attack against who you are. And that is a big thing. That's a core trauma right there in itself, that could have had unraveling done to help you to where, like you say, you now, after all this time, you now know, okay, that is not a reflection on me as an individual, but I can handle this in a way that makes sure that my clients, because it's about them, are happy and
Mhm.
get what they want and what they paid for, and then we
Yep.
can both feel good about it. So I that's maturity right there, and that's growth. But fortunately, like you say, going through that time, and I don't know about you, but it's very lonely too,
Yeah.
because you are so afraid at times to share the truth, because back then especially, I mean, even now, I think there's a lot of people who are afraid to talk about these things, because they, like you say, they're afraid of how it makes them look, because everyone thinks that you have to be so polished and look, oh, amazing and everything online. And I'm like,
I always
nah.
thought that too. Then even still, I'm battling it still. This podcast tour is like me breaking out of that. I mean, to this day, like it's been hard. Like if you look at my social media channel,
Hmm.
because I'm doing everyone else's social media, is not what I want it to be. I want it to be more authentic. Right now, it's very corporate-y and like
Yeah.
not personal. And so we're even taking a look at ourselves. Like, how am I like? And it's okay. I've had it. That's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
you got to do what you can do. When I put up the website, I mean, like, I still need to put case studies up there. I have
Yeah.
them, but you just do what you can do. And I'm
Yes.
still working with clients, and clients are still going to refer you. Some of them don't ever look at your website. They just
Yeah.
get referred to you from someone that they trust.
Yeah.
They don't look at your website at all. The bigger people that don't even know you, and if you're doing cold outreach, yes, they're going to go look at your website and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm redoing it. But full transparency, like it's always a work in progress.
Yeah.
And I don't, there's challenges that come with every phase. So like in the beginning, it's just you and your challenge is getting some clients. But then when you get like 5 or 6 clients, you start to max out what you can personally do yourself.
Mhm.
But you may not even have enough money to like hire a person to help you, because at 5 clients and that's honestly why the book, I don't, we can talk about the book a little
Yeah.
bit, but it's
Yeah.
not a major, the way that I wrote it, the very first third of it is mindset. There's quizzes in there. So
Ooh.
you go in and you say like, so we figured out like the top money mindset work, like myths and stuff and
Yeah.
things that I feel like people disqualify themselves before they start the business
Yeah.
because of this mindset stuff. I was more like, do it and who gives a crap and we'll figure it out later.
Yeah.
But then when that bit me, like that's when I got a little like turtly and I was like, oh, I'm like, why did I not think through this? But in the end, do first and then figure out later. Like it's a free education. So
Yeah.
these mindset things are like, I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. I don't have a support system. I don't have. And then like, what if it fails? Or what if it succeeds and you're completely overwhelmed and busy? It's fine. It's okay. Like all of it's okay. You may have some clients that are mad at you or don't like you or would never refer you and that's true too. Like you're going to burn bridges if you make a mistake sometimes. But if you're authentic, you apologize, you work with people are pretty understanding as long as they don't feel like you outright rip them off or scam them.
Yeah.
And if you're providing a service, you're not doing that. I've refunded people. I said, look, we've talked about it. We've gone over this. I don't think you're happy with anything that I'm doing. And so I think you need to find another vendor because my style and whatever is not meeting what you want. So here's your money back. Use that money to go find someone. Yes, I just burned hours of my life that I can't get back, but if it's not a
That's
fit, that person doesn't walk away going, oh, I worked with her and she just took my money and didn't listen to anything.
yeah.
And I
I
don't
mean,
want,
yeah, you don't want that kind of as people going out there talking like you about you with that. Because me too, you're not alone. Many people I'm sure listening has been burned, has had people
mm,
make promises and have and say they're going to deliver this and do this, and then you join and spend all this money, and then they don't, and then you're
yeah,
just stuck. And it's like, and I feel like there's also learning in that. And this
yes,
is why I work with a lot of moms with like listening to themselves and trusting themselves because I get it. I know what it feels like when they put that vision in front of you of what this can look like and what could be, and you want it so bad. And there's
yeah,
nothing wrong with that. We deserve to want what we want, but
yep,
there is a discernment in what feels aligned with who you are and what's right for you, and
yep,
compared to just being so desperate almost, and that desperate energy and that mindset of like, I want this to work so bad that I'm willing to do whatever, that we have to work through in order to make sure that we're really aligned with who we're meant to be. And also the feelings and the thoughts like you say about the mindset is a big part of it. Like when you are focused so much on what you don't have and the lack of
yep,
and what you don't want, like you
yep.
don't realize you're actually attracting that. And that's
Yeah.
scary,
Like,
isn't it? Like you're even your thoughts, like it's scary to think that that's how it works, but it does.
yes, you have to almost say like I am worth $10 million or whatever the number is
Yes.
that seems scary to you, or like you have to think
Yes.
in your brain like there's no reason I can't just, because really at a certain level in your business, you're just scaling the same process over and over again.
Yeah.
And so I think people think too much about that. So like the book is like literally mindset. Then the second piece, there's only 3 things you really need is like a good offer, who you're going to offer it to, and then how you're going to sell it to them. That's
Hmm.
the only 3 things in the book that we like really hone in on. And then the third section is keeping those clients happy
Yeah.
and like, problematic areas where clients may give you some trouble and how to handle that.
Hmm.
Because those 3, like it's really made for brand new business owners or people who maybe are in their first, second year that are like stuck,
Yeah.
because I know like your first 6 figures, you're like, oh my gosh, I made 6 figures by myself, and
Yeah.
it's exciting. And but people are online in the marketing world, and the marketing space is just so freaky. But they're promising like, oh yeah, you can make $100,000 a month, like from nothing.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
maybe if you're selling an AI bot, by the way, be careful with the AI.
Yes.
There's so much, and even I had a guy, I just watched a video on YouTube. This guy's like, yeah, the hottest industry right now, if you're in marketing, is to do these AI bots. But you better do it now because this is going to be a fad and we're going to move away from it.
Yeah.
And he's like, but it's a huge money grab. And I'm like, I don't even think of clients in that way. Like, we don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, if you like, I won't even work with people that want to get rich quick.
Yeah.
Because number one, if tomorrow I handed you 50 clients, you would not be able to handle
Yes.
it. You
Thank
would
you.
freaking lose your mind.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
because think about being married to 50 people at the same time. Like, it's
Yes.
really like that because you're working, at least for me, I'm working with people like they're part of my family. Like,
I love
my
that.
clients are like, I think I'm going to change some of the wording we use is not really how I'm showing up with people. It's like,
Mhm.
I want people to understand like we are a done with you marketing agency. Like, but you don't have to hire like a whole full-time person. So we try to help people and we give them a whole team. Like, we have our graphic design people and we have web people, but I think that's what I wish I had, kind of like a little support
Yeah.
system of doers, people that could help me get tasks accomplished so I could have focused more on going to events and networking
Yeah, it's
and
like
that.
I'm reading this book, the 10x is better than 2x, and it's like that's part of like the 20-80%. Like, we put so much, unfortunately, when you're starting off, you do tend to put most
You
of your
have
focus
to.
on the 80% of stuff, but that stuff is not what drives what you need. It's that 20%, and it's worth figuring out that for yourself and how you can, you know, delegate or allow yourself to prioritize, just organize your life in a way that you get to focus on that 20%, because that 20% is where that's what's going to get you everything you want. And so it's kind of like that. It's like, really, I feel like too, with the whole, like when you were sharing about the situation where you were like almost like feeling like about being homeless, like that's actually one of my core fears, because I actually went through being homeless as a teen. So I have a fear
It,
about that. And that led me with being a mom,
yeah,
especially, when it comes to paying bills and managing money. And so I want to
yeah,
say, I feel like the one thing that's helped me a lot with that is identity work, because I feel like regardless of our current circumstances right now, our realities, like if we don't work on knowing that when we're showing up, we are the versions of ourselves that we know we're meant to be, and that's who we're showing up as, that's who we're deciding as, that's who we're, feeling as,
yep,
that is what really attracts the right people for you, I feel, and the right opportunities for you as well, because we can't always help or have control over what's going on externally, but we can control what we have inside of us and the work that
yes.
we do. So I do feel like that is a crucial piece to like separating that sense when you're starting off, of understanding that yes, it's going to be hard, it's not going to look all fancy, and a lot of these people that you see who act like they have it all together, like you say, some of it's fake. And
Not
the
all, yeah, a
not
lot.
all of it, of course, because some of it's wonderful, and to me, I look at that as evidence of what's
Yep.
possible. But
Yes.
and regardless, though, even if it is, like they're doing the right, they're what they're doing is showing up as who they know they are and who they're meant to be, and that can be powerful in its own way. So I
Yep.
don't feel like there's any shame in that. So I think that what you're doing with that book is a great starting point, great gift for anyone who is wanting to really like do it right, because everyone wants to know, well, how do I make money? How do I do this? Like you say, that quick
And
rich
there's
thing.
no miracle. And that's where you blow your money. That's where you're talking about like stewarding your money
Yes.
wisely once you have it. Because I remember the first time I hired somebody to help me, like a consultant, or
Mhm.
I thought, oh, wow, like this is really expensive. I've never invested this much in myself before. And that person did not do, like, the person on the sales call said all the things that I needed.
Yeah.
And then the people delivering it were completely disconnected from what that person told me. And I never received the services. To this day, I've never gotten a refund. I've requested one multiple times. And the person I hired is very well known in the marketing world. And so, and they keep on with their ads and they're all over social media. And I'm thinking, like, how many people gave these people money,
Yes.
and then didn't get anything in return? And I feel like when that happens to you once, like, you just go, okay, I know how I don't want to be. Like, I know how I'm not going to treat people.
Yeah.
And that's why even I've been scared to launch a coaching program or anything. But this book forced me because I never wanted to be an author or write a book ever.
Oh
Like,
my
I never, they always said, write a book, you get speaking gigs. I'm like, I don't even want to be on speaking gigs. Like, all this stuff is scary, but I just thought, well, you know what? I'm gonna break. My husband's like, just do it. Like he goes, you've always, and so I've always wanted to do this coaching program thing. And I'm like, okay, how can I make it easy and not crazy expensive? And then I don't know if you've heard of this lady named Julie Chanel. She used to work for Russell Brunson ClickFunnels.
Oh,
I have
okay.
never met her in person. I
Uh,
love her content. She just talks into a camera in a hoodie, but
yeah.
she made $20 million and she started her business in the divorce and kids and now
Yeah.
she's somebody I look at and go, you know what? She's from the same part of the country as I am. She had the same beginning that I did. Like
Oh, yeah.
I need to learn from her, so I watch a lot of her content. But anyone listening is going to be that person for someone else. So like
Yeah.
she's that for me, but she doesn't even know me. I'm like, I mean, she's wrote back to me in emails before, but we've
Yeah.
never met. And I've taken her online courses, but I feel like that's maybe what I probably needed back then was just a human being.
Yeah.
AI is not always accurate. I know everyone's typing in, give me a marketing strategy for this. I have clients send these to me all the time. They're terrible. So you have to know what to put in the system if you don't have that background. So this, I'm gonna pair it with the book and you get the option to opt into it if you want. It's just like a Voxer coaching. So anything that pops in your head, you send me a little message and I message you back. And then that way people have quick access to answers throughout the week. Because I feel like that's all I ever needed. Like, hey, let me ping this off somebody that already did this. Like, how do I find that mentor? But I couldn't afford a fancy mentor or like a fancy coach or whatever. So that's what I feel like I would like to do in this next season is just really help people get their businesses off the ground and
Yeah.
get them like forward momentum. And the mindset is huge. Like, because your nervous system like has its own protective mechanisms. And
Yeah.
when you encounter something that feels icky, like you can really I've blown so many situations because I didn't heal things first. But I'm like, oh, it's a business, it's separate. It's not separate.
Yes. Well, and even with your healing journey,
Yeah.
I had someone I knew who was like, "Oh, I have to heal first before I can." No,
Oh,
no,
you
a
know.
healing journey is part of it's an ongoing thing. I mean, we have so much generational conditioning and things like that we have to worry about, and it's like it's one of those things I want people to understand. It's like all of this is an ongoing thing. We're going to, in every level that we get to, there's always going to be something new that comes our way. And the more
Mhm.
we have these tools, though, and we understand it, we build that awareness around it, the better we'll be able to face it. And we'll be able to
Yeah.
be like, oh, okay, the old me probably would have been like, oh, I'm done, I'm out. But this version of me is now being like, no, what can I learn here? What is happening? This is happening for me. So, how can I use this to help me move forward? That's powerful right there in itself. When you are at that position in your life where you can look at any challenge, no matter what it is, and have that kind of attitude and belief in yourself and in where you're going, you're unstoppable. That's what I like to help clients with. And I think that's exactly what you're working on. So put yourself out there, do what you're doing right now is huge. Getting out of your comfort zone, doing the book, getting
Oh,
on
I
speaking,
definitely
right?
run a business with like no YouTube channel and no social, like
Yeah.
very little social media. I used to go on Facebook Live a lot, but
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I don't even know what to talk about. I'm busy working. But now I'm like, okay, we'll start talking about things going on behind the scenes that people are there's just so much like and I get clients and friends like, hey, what do you think about this AI or have you used this program? Unless you train that AI, like, and that's the thing, like
Mm-hmm. Train it
there's just
good.
so much. And marketing has gone bonkers. Like Meta, their new ad platform is completely different than it used to be. So nothing that I used to do really works except the message testing piece because it's actually asking human beings for responses. So I feel
Oh,
like if we cut out human beings altogether,
yeah.
we can't do that. And AI is not there yet. I mean, I know people are firing teams, but I wouldn't bank on that yet when you're starting out. And I know
Yeah.
I'm like on this AI kick because everybody's been like buzzing about it, but I feel like it's the basics of a business are not changing. They're just
Yeah.
not.
Well, I think it can be a cool tool to have
Yeah,
to like complement your journey for sure and save you
right,
time and
right,
especially
sure.
when you're starting and like you say you can't have a team especially when you train it right like you say but at the same time what people want is you. Like
Yes, they need
ultimately they're paying for
resources.
you and your presence and your, what you can, the result that you're providing them. Because at the end of the day, that's what they want, is that result. And I think that you're right. There's this humanness, especially now that AI is present, that people are searching for. And I think that authenticity is becoming a big thing, which I love to see because it's helped me a lot. Like, I
Yeah.
grew up hating who I was. I wanted to be the white girl. I didn't like being,
It's
anything.
overrated, by the way,
Yeah.
as a just saying.
Well, now I appreciate my brown skin. I remember my friends would always be like, "Girl, I wish I had a tan like yours." And I used
No,
to, and even my hair, like I used to be so like unaccepting of who I was growing up because I
no,
was very insecure. I did not feel like I ever fit in. And I'm so grateful that I didn't live in today's world for sure, because Lord knows I would hate if someone to influence me in the wrong way, because I'm
no.
proud of who I am. I learned to accept who I am, and in a way that I not only embraced it, but I like really love it and I'm proud of it. And I think that's the most important message that we can teach our kids,
Yeah,
especially, and we can teach ourselves, is that, there's nothing more powerful than truly loving yourself, trusting yourself, and like being real. And that's so
yeah.
nice, right? I mean, even me
That's
starting
the
this podcast,
part.
girl, I was
Yeah,
like, I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea. I didn't go looking
it's
for
new.
it. Yeah, but it came across my path. It was an opportunity I took, and I love it. It's become my passion. And this is why I encourage people to get out of your comfort zone, try new things. You never know where that will lead you to.
Yes, and you meet really cool people. Like
Oh,
I
and
do love these. I like love podcasts because you get to meet people, you get to kind of be, and it's fun. Like I'm like in your house right now
I
almost.
know, right?
Like you're in
Exactly.
my house. This is my little house.
Yes. I love it.
So
Exactly. I think that's so cool. I've made such good friendships, and just being there to support each other and just having that connection. And this, like I said, this episode will always be out there. We never
yeah.
know who at what point is going to check it out and listen, and it's going to be exactly what they need to hear.
Well,
And it's
and
gonna,
I want to talk about that identity thing that you brought up too, because
yeah.
I feel like when we talk about our experiences,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of breaks down those barriers between people because I feel like I pretty much get along with everybody. My friends list is
Yeah.
pretty diverse. And so, and I grew up in a neighborhood that was pretty diverse, and maybe that's why, but I feel like, I don't know, I feel like have so much more in common, and
Yeah.
not, not just as women, but just as human beings. Like when
Yeah.
we struggle with stuff, the identity thing may look different for someone who grew up differently or has a different color skin than you, but I feel like we are so similar in
Yeah.
the challenges that we're facing.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
just as far as breaking through mindset stuff, all of
Yes.
that, I'm sure there's definitely things in this world that are like not equal, but I do think getting over that mental thing of like, am I good
Yeah.
enough? Can I do this? Can I not do that? There's people,
We all,
everybody, yeah, it's like something everyone has to just get through it and figure that out because that's really the key to it. That's
yeah.
been a struggle for me for a long time. Not necessarily identity, but just, yeah, maybe the imposter syndrome thing, which is connected to identity. I think that's a big
Yeah,
thing.
it is. I mean, and it's totally normal. Like, I never want anyone who's listening to ever feel like because you're in that place that you're, oh, something's wrong with you. No, you're
Yeah.
exactly where you're meant to be. Like, everybody feels this at some point, actually probably multiple times throughout their journey, because
Yep.
sometimes that voice is going to creep in and tell you, like, who are you to do this? Like, who's going to take you seriously? What are you doing? And even sometimes your own family and friends that you thought would be supportive are actually the worst. And so I think it's important that we put ourselves out there to connect with each other, because it is hard. It's not even that they don't love you sometimes. A lot of times it's because they love you, or because what they're doing is projecting their disbeliefs of
Things.
that
Yeah.
it's possible for them onto you without even meaning to. So it's like, it's just understanding all of that just helps you to not, like you say, shut everyone out or not
Yeah.
allow yourself to do the thing. And because I know me, especially in the beginning, just doing a live, like I still don't even really do lives because
Yeah.
like it's not something I'm yet comfortable with, but also because the way my timing is structured, it's not always easy. But I still love doing videos. I like, that's something that I accept it as a compromise, and
Yeah.
I think that's okay. Honor where you are, but still stretch yourself in any way that you can too, because you'll never meet that version of you
Yeah.
that's able to carry that until you do it. and got to get through the fear, right?
Well, you gotta stop worrying about your personal Facebook feed and what your friends are gonna think
Yeah.
because oh
Hmm.
my gosh. Like, listen, I'm almost ready to go. Look, I'm about to post a ton of business stuff on my personal Facebook. And if you don't want to like watch it, please do the snooze Kaylin thing or unfollow me because I know like what I want to help people with is going to help a lot of people. And a lot of people in my Facebook, that's the thing, like people connect with you personally.
Yeah.
And I always said, like, keep your business page separate. And for certain things, you have to because Facebook will ding you. But, you know, they now have that creator option in Facebook. They've had it for a while, but some people don't realize you can actually get paid by Facebook on your personal page if you change your profile to a creator. And the more you put out, especially video, they're gonna like pay you for the reach and all that. So your friends are great, but usually they're not the people buying from you.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you really don't want them to be the people buying from you.
Oh, that's true. Yep.
Sometimes I've done business and done projects for friends, and for some reason, it's like it's almost like they know you too much. They respect the person they barely know that has expertise, and so it's a weird dynamic. I don't understand what it is. Some people can do it and they're totally fine with it, but it's harder. It's been harder for me personally to do that. So
Yeah, I understand that. I think it's more of like they see that they know that older version of you, the one
yeah,
before this. They don't see you as that expert, as this authority figure that you are now becoming, and so therefore they kind of treat you as such. And so I don't think they mean it sometimes, but that's just how they show up. And it's like, yeah, or not show up, should I say? Because sometimes I've had that too when I first started, where I try to ask friends to help, give me the practice or whatever, and they just never took it seriously. And so,
yeah,
it goes with that. It's like, again, I had to put myself out there and try different things and meet new people. And it was strangers who ended up becoming my closest friends and my mentors and people that I could turn to and who understood what I was going through. Like that's what I'm
well,
saying. Get connected with other entrepreneurs. There's just nothing like that. Other moms, whatever
yeah,
you're on, what you're trying to go for, surround yourself with those people who are doing it. That's
yeah,
the best thing you can do.
yeah. Because then they'll know everything you're stressing about. They're like, oh, that happened to me. Let's talk about it.
Yes. Oh yeah, and they'll support you, and especially people who are even further than you, like who are still doing the things you want. You want to be in their room because that's
Yes,
how they're going to give you that energy and those advice, and they're going to support you too. Like they're going to uplift you. And like
yes,
how you were talking about a mentor earlier, like Kathy Heller, like by far, Stacey Bowman and Kathy Heller are my two mentors. Like I love them to death. I love everything they're about. They've taught me so much about authenticity, about being true to ourselves, and it's what helped me to become who I am today amongst other things, of course. But it's like I'm grateful for that, and I do my best to surround myself with their energy, their beliefs, their teachings as much as I can in any way that I can. So yeah, I think that is very very beautiful that we're working through this as we become who we're meant to be, right?
yeah. No, it's actually a fun journey once you get
Yes.
your ego out of the way, and I think that's the biggest thing. Just do stuff.
Yes, yes. And understand like, okay, we're always growing. We've been growing forever since we were
Yeah,
babies. So it's like it's uncomfortable, but at the same time, when you start something new, you never know what you're doing. Nobody does. But after a little bit of doing it and doing it and doing it, it gets easier and easier. And next thing you know, it's like, oh, I can do this on autopilot, right? So trust in that that's going to be the same thing for you here too. And if you need support, don't be afraid to get it. So
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So right as of right now, if somebody was listening and would like to learn more about like how you could help them, where would you say would be the best place for them to find you?
Right now, we're sending everyone to therevenuerunway.com. It's the place to grab the book.
Okay.
And then inside there, the book goes live on the 17th. I think you can pre-order now. It's like 99 cents. And
Okay.
it's, yeah. So you can grab it. And then if you inside of there is a scan code. And then or maybe, no, it's everything goes live on the 17th. I'm wrong. Sorry. There's all
Okay.
these due dates and we're like launching
Oh,
things at
oh
different
gosh,
times.
yeah, that's exciting. Yeah.
So 17th is live for everything. I preloaded everything in there, so I'm a little confused. But
Yeah. Well,
then
by the time this episode airs, it will be available because as you said this
yeah,
this 17th this month, right? So
yeah,
yours
excited.
is coming. Yeah. So by the time you're listening to this, it's available. So go get
Okay.
it.
Perfect. So the revenuerunway.com, that's where they go. In there, there'll be QR codes where they can join our private group and
Mhm.
then they can get templates and chat GPT prompts to help them work through the things in the book. And then if they want to like join a membership program or whatever, that's an additional fee. But I think with software and everything included, our pricing is at 147 a month.
Okay.
So they get a go high level with that, which we've branded, but we'll set everything up for them. So they'll have an option to get on a call with me. They'll have an option to do the one-on-one coaching. They'll have all these options once they get in there that they can up level, but everything's really accessible. And that's kind of what I wanted. I'd rather grow a community of people that are helping each other.
Yes.
And, that's really where I feel like my next phase is going to be, because we got to help each other out. And there's
Yeah.
so much noise on the internet. We need like simplicity.
Yes. Oh my God, don't we overcomplicate things all the time? I know.
So much. So much. Yep.
Yes, yes. Simplicity is nice and it's good. And like I said, I mean, again, I know this journey can be hard, but it also doesn't have to be as hard as we make it. So I just don't be afraid to lean on others to get the support you need. And again, I always say start with trusting yourself because unfortunately there are not such good things out there and people who will take advantage. And I never want that for anyone in my room because I know what that feels like. And my goal is to always truly support people and be there 100% for them and making sure that they succeed because your success is my success. So, and I feel the same thing with you and what you're doing. So I think it's amazing what you do. And I always open the floor too. Is there any final piece of advice that you would like to leave with listeners today?
Man, mm, I would say don't think too much about getting started, and don't rush to like build out a whole website. Like, I would say if you have not done anything ever before, start with, a product or a service idea that you can look into who you're going to serve and why you want to serve it, and really know why you want to start a business. Because if you're looking to get rich quick, you're going to burn out quick. So if you want to build something that is going to last and maybe your kids inherit it or you can sell it as an asset, that's a different mindset. So think, why do you want to do this? Who do you want to serve? And how do you want to serve them? I would just start there.
Yeah.
Website can come later,
Okay.
but all that is really the foundation. And
Okay.
then and don't be afraid to tweak it.
Oh yeah, you're going to. I'm thinking, I don't feel like you're pigeonholing yourself. Yeah, even if you start somewhere, it can always evolve and change over time. I see it all the time, and that's okay.
There's
Because
branding. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in that. So I love that advice very much because I feel like that is always the hardest part is just deciding and getting started. And so, like again, and with you saying the website thing, I wish I had known that in the get for the money I spent on that was so ridiculous. And I'm like, there are such affordable ways of having access to things that you can create
Yeah.
landing pages, which works just fine.
The software will be in that membership, because I'm
Yeah.
like, you need it, and you only pay for usage on it. Anyway, I know
Oh,
it makes me sick what money a lot of these software companies make, and I'm not against people making money, but
no, of course not.
when you have a piece of software and you're selling it to 5 million people, and you're charging each one of them, a couple hundred to, I mean, I know some software out there for marketing is like 2,000 a month just to have the software, because as
Wow.
they charge per contact that you put into the system. So as your contact list grows, they kind of like charge more. And
Oof.
so, yeah, there's a lot of things that people don't realize. It's very important, the software you pick, and how you're going to scale. Anyway,
Oh
that's
God, but that's good. No, but that's great to know. Thank you for that little tidbit
yeah,
because
look
yeah,
at what you're buying and what you get and the
yeah.
tiers.
Yep. And apparently, if you need more information, come talk to Kayleen because she knows like her stuff. So yeah, definitely do your research. Do your research and again, don't feel like you have to have it all figured out in the beginning, right?
No,
Because
you
you're not
do.
going to.
No, and there's free Facebook groups with entrepreneurs hanging out. We'll
Mhm.
have a Facebook group up. We're just not there yet. But we, and that I know. I'm back and forth. Do you think Facebook group versus like portal? Because I have the online portal and it has like a discussion area built in.
Oh, well,
So
hey,
maybe
testing things out never hurts either. Like
you
you can
may
always
build.
give something a yeah, you can always give something a go, see how it does, and or even test it out at the same time, see which one kind of has more engagement or whatever, and then you can always close out the other one or whatever. You never know. So
Yeah,
it's
I
like I
think.
say, it's all about trying, right?
Yeah. But no,
Well,
we're doing it with this. I mean,
yeah.
there's so many programs out there, but I felt like every time I join a program, I have to watch 75 YouTube videos inside the program and then download 52 templates and stuff. And I'm like, we're going to keep this so easy. And then if you need a human, you can sign up to be coached by an actual person. So, yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. Thank you for creating that because that's so needed and such a blessing because especially for beginners, like there's only so much that they can budget. And so people
Yeah,
like you who are creating budget friendly opportunities is huge. And I think people need to be aware of that and also in supporting other small businesses. Like has help,
definitely.
like you say, helping each other grow is beautiful.
Exactly.
So I want to thank you so much for everything you share. Like your vulnerability, your honesty is beautiful because I feel like this is something that so many people, like I said, is so afraid to share and be honest about. And I think we need to get honest with ourselves and with each other that, even our dream life doesn't look pretty and it's the journey of it. The path of it's freaking hard. But you know
Yeah.
what? So is the life of not having our dreams. So
Yeah.
why not
It's
take the
hard.
mountain that any, yes, it's hard, but the end result is so out far outweighs the one that you're going to get if you just don't do nothing. So I think it's beautiful what you shared and I appreciate you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. You're fun to talk to. So I'm sure your podcast is people probably, open up. You have one of those personalities. So thank you so much.
Means the world to hear. Thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe below, follow along, and always leave a comment. Tell me what was your favorite takeaway. What are some things that are coming up for you through these conversations? I really love to hear from my listeners and know that I'm always here for you. If anyone listening is ready to take action and really follow through and implement the goals that you set out for, as well as work on that mindset and really step into your full potential and the CEO of your life, then I invite you, schedule your free 1 hour limitless mom strategy call with me while they're available. And let's explore where you are, where you want to be, and how we can bridge that gap together. I can't thank you all enough for tuning in each week. Always remember, until next time, keep rising, keep shining, and keep believing in everything that is available for you, Mama. You are worthy, you deserve it, and I'm so grateful to be walking this journey alongside you. Much love.